For every choice, there is an echo. With each act, we change the world. One man chose a city free of law and God, but others chose corruption, and so the city fell. If the world were reborn in your image, would it be paradise or perdition? Look, it is the world for which you strive. You, alone among the dead.
Let's get into this. Now, I've already done reviews for BioShock Infinite and BioShock and the first BioShock game. At the end of the first BioShock game, I mentioned that I was not the biggest fan of BioShock 2, and that's still kind of worthless. So, let's just get into this one, shall we? BioShock 2 was released in 2010, and it was not directed by Ken Levine, as Ken Levine was working on BioShock Infinite at the time. The game did quite well on release, but was not as well received as its predecessor at the time. But as the years have gone on, the thing has got really, really popular, and saying that it's actually quite a really good sequel, even better than Infinite. I would actually kind of disagree with that. Because Infinite is my favourite game. Oh, God, it's getting dark. It's because, I have played this game because I played the other ones, and to be honest, I was not as blown away as other people are. I wouldn't say it's bad. I do like some parts of this game, but I just never got the same experience as I did with the first two games. Like how I got with Infinite, and also how I got with the first BioShock. And I love Infinite. It's my favourite game of all time, Infinite, and I really, really like the first BioShock, and I can't wait for the movie. I'll do a video on that next year. But it's kind of weird. I do know that Infinite isn't getting well received nowadays due to its plot holes and the demo. Just me, I'll get to that soon. But I'm much more in the thing that I was not a big fan of this game than I was Infinite. I love Infinite, but this one was just kind of tough. But forget it. Let's just get into it. The game opens up in 1958. This is actually apparently taking place in New Year's Eve. We play as a Big Daddy, and basically we just get our little sister out of the vents. The little sister wants to go find Adam, and basically we join her. The Big Daddy being playable for this one was actually the big deal about the game, as in the first one you could never play as the Big Daddy. There's also a cool gameplay feature that comes up later. While gathering out for the little sister, we stumble into a New Year's Eve party. This is actually confirming that Elizabeth and Booker are at the other side. As this is happening, the little sister is ambushed, and basically we go down to fight the people that are ambushing her. But they get the best of us first. And now, this.
There we are. He's perfectly safe now. This is not your daughter. Do you understand? Her name is Eleanor, and she is mine. Now, kneel, please. Remove your helmet. Now, take the pistol. Place it against your head. Fire.
10 years later, after Jack has killed Ryan and stopped Atlas, we wake up. We've been out for that long, and somehow we've been able to be reawoke. By the way, our name is Subject Delta. And by the way, before I mention this, I am not actually going to do the Minerva's Den in this episode. I might do that next year. I'm mainly just going to do another BioShock video, just so you know, and then this year, and then that's it. That's just a little heads up. We have our drill, which actually you have to use fuel to keep using, and basically we start going around Rapture. we get some messages from Tenenbaum, and then we use our abilities. So now we're basically like Jack from the first game. We can now use plasmids. Little sister walks up to us and basically says that we need to get some help until she's captured. We find another little sister, and basically she tells us that there's something called a big sister coming this way. These be jumping little shits. Oh Jesus! Get off me. We fight her off, and she's actually quite tough. And then she basically gets revenge on us because we got the thing and bring like the little instant pose. So she breaks the glass, and the water comes in. You can now walk in the water, and basically then we get a new view from Rapture. We make it inside, but then are faced with a message from Sophia Lamb. She's puzzled by how we managed to survive, but that's the least of our problems right now. She sends ambushes to try and kill us, but basically we avoid them, and the boat catches on fire, and then we fall! We get a message from Eleanor, and basically then we meet Tenenbaum. So this is what she finally looks like. Huh. So there was hit by glass. Sophia Lamb then appears on the TV and urges everyone in Rapture to hunt down Subject Delta, as basically Delta was just of the piece. We have to help Tenenbaum get the kids to safety. We help Tenenbaum get the kids into the train, and basically she helps us with a friend known as Augustus Sinclair. He's actually quite nice. We got on this train thing and basically go there. There's also a new game mechanic. You can actually fight Big Daddies, which is actually quite cool. And after you kill them, you can actually adopt the little sisters. I finally have adopted a child. I will take care of you with all my might. There's also a choice system in the game, which is very similar to the first one, the bad endings included. You can harvest little sisters, and you could also save them. So I basically just recommend you save them. You don't want to kill children, do you? You sick bastard. We meet a woman called Grace who actually helped raise Eleanor. And when Eleanor disappeared, and so we accidentally hurt her because we turned to a Big Daddy at the time. She wants us to kill her, and basically but we don't do that, which makes her rethink things. There's a man called Father Wales who basically stops us and destroys the train. We have to go get him and stop him. As it turns out, he's actually religious, which is interesting because Rapture is a place where they do not believe in God, as everyone is an atheist. We kill the guy, and basically, yeah. Then we find a guy called Stanley Poole, and we have to go get some stuff for him. Except for Eleanor tells us that he was the reason that she's a little sister, so we kill the shit out of him. Pleasure. Then we find Gil Alexander. Man, there's a lot of people in this game. Gil Alexander is someone that we have to go find and all that, whatever. There's also a really interesting thing about Atlas with one of his earlier dialogue times. We find the son of a bitch, and basically he jumps in this giant vat of some stuff, and anyway, we just electrocute him and shit, who cares? It's a bit much. We find Eleanor, but Sophia Lamb's also there, and basically explains how we were brought back. After basically Eleanor was turned to a big sister, Sophia Lamb didn't know that Eleanor was actually recreating Subject Delta using the regeneration pods from basically the first game, which would bring you back to life. After this, the only way to stop Delta is that Sophia literally suffocates Eleanor, which is actually affecting Delta because she's to him in some kind of weird way. They both fall onto the ground, and I'm getting dizzy. And then basically, so we wake up, and basically we are in this sort of area where we're chained up. But luckily, or much more interestingly, a little sister appears and basically draws something into us, where basically we get the POV of the little sisters. It's actually quite cool, and we actually find out why the little sisters see there's angels around. They see angels everywhere. Huh, nice plushie. We get the stuff back to Eleanor, and she basically dresses up as basically a big sister. By thanking us, she actually cures the little sister from this, and basically uses her powers. Eleanor appears and basically unchains us, and then we go to stop Sophia Lamb. We find out that Sinclair's actually been kidnapped and turned into a big daddy, and he actually forces us to kill him, which is actually quite sad. He was a pretty good character. After killing Sinclair, we also noticed that Delta's actually quite badly damaged, but Eleanor and the little sisters actually use this kind of heat up thing and basically start steaming up the place. And Sophia starts detonating the bombs though, so basically that means they need to get out of there. Ooh. We wake up and we're holding on to our dear life onto this thing that's rising up. Rapture's sinking. We're getting higher and higher. We're getting closer to the surface. Everything is going as quick as possible. Delta is badly damaged at this point. He is completely bent and gone through a whole bunch of stuff. Who knows if basically the people that we met down there are still down there or escaped. We climb up, getting closer to the chamber. We don't know where Eleanor is after she disappeared from the bombs. The little sisters, we don't know if they're safe. We climb up higher. Delta is barely grasping for life. And we climb up. Everything is falling apart. And as we look at the window, we see Sophia. She's drowning, but then Eleanor arrives. And in a bold move, Eleanor saves Sophia. Because of all the goodness that we've done, except for killing Stanley, we basically have showed ourselves that we're not monsters. And then we go topside. I'm just gonna let this speak for itself.
The rapture dream is over, but in waking, I am reborn. This world is not ready for me, yet here I am. It would be so easy to misjudge them. You are my conscience, Father, and I need you to guide me. You will always be with me now, Father. Your memories, your drives. And when I need you, you'll be there on my shoulder, whispering. If Utopia is not a place, but a people, then we must choose carefully, for the world is about to change. And in our story, Rapture was just the beginning.
Oh, yeah, there's also an alternate ending. There's actually quite a few of them, which and I'm not going to get into that. On a look back on it, BioShock 2 I can see why people like it. As in for Infinite, I do understand that there's a lot of complexities, but not only that, there were some plot holes. I don't see the plot holes necessarily for Infinite, but I do understand why this is a lot more peak. But I still like Infinite, and I still like the first BioShock game really a lot, but I just couldn't get into BioShock 2, and it was interesting about that. I wanted to get into it. I wanted to like this one as the rest of them, but I don't know, just the feeling was just not there as it was for the first two. First game, I was enthusiastic, I was passionate about, and basically that's what led me to my variety books and all that. So yeah. But and then I played the first BioShock on New Year's Eve and all that, and it was so much great. It was so brilliant. I couldn't believe it. The storytelling was amazing for the first game as well. I like Infinite a lot more than the first, but I still think the first one is a masterpiece. But BioShock 2 just didn't work for me. I couldn't get into the plot, and I felt like it was just like the ideas, that example, are just not as good as the first ones. A lot of people love this game, and I'm okay with that. You can like this. Anyway, that was my review of BioShock 2. I will try and do other reviews. For instance, I'm going to do a demo video on I'm going to do a video on the demos for BioShock Infinite. I'm also going to do a video on the BioShock movie. Other videos I'll be doing on is a Christmas special for you guys, and also a video on, it's a bit interesting subject to tackle, but Harvey Weinstein, but not on his thingy crimes and sexual crimes, not that. It's his film problems and that. I'm going to tackle that. But yeah, I hope you have so yeah, I'll see you in the next BioShock video, and yeah, subscribe and check out more. Do it for the little sisters.
Dream.